There could be a lot of different things that are making a loud garage door. I got 5 things that you can do to make it quieter. If your garage door opener is making a lot of noise inside your house, then it's because all of this energy vibrating inside of the opener is being transferred through these beams straight into the supports in the roof. So right here you can see these bolts are going right up into the beams that are underneath this sheetrock. So one thing you can do is separate it, unscrew the lag bolt and put a bushing in. I have one there and one there, and what that does is it acts like a shock absorber so that this metal beam actually isn't riding onto the ceiling there and transferring all that energy and thus amplifying it into the house. Now another source of noise could be coming from your garage door chain. Some of them have belts, and if you have a belt instead of a chain, then you're not going to have this problem, but chains can fatigue over time just from being stretched, and they'll sag a bit. Now if they sag far enough to actually hit this metal, when it's going, you'll hear a tap 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 tap, and it can actually make noise hitting this part here that rides along that track. So if you do have this problem, you can tighten your chain here. You can see here's one end, it's locked on there, but this other end has 2 nuts. You can unscrew this one, loosen this, and tighten it so that it's pulling the chain tighter. Now, a trick is it's okay to have a little bit of sag on. You don't want it absolutely straight, because if it's absolutely straight, you're going to put too much tension and too much pressure on this gear in here, and you'll snap it off, and that's not going to be a super cheap and easy fix. Now both sides of the garage door have these little rollers, and they ride along this track that goes all the way down to the ground. Now what happens, sometimes these will get hit by a car or a bike or whatever equipment you have in your garage and can be bent out of alignment. And if it's out of alignment, you're going to hear some fairly loud grinding noises and screeching noises because it's the metal's riding against metal. So you want to take a look and see if everything looks like it's straight in a line. If one of these tracks is pulling the shaft of this roller either too far this way or too far this way and it's pinched, then you know you have a problem. Now you'll know that this is also a problem if your garage door makes the noise all of a sudden. So let's say it's riding up, and all of a sudden when it gets to about, I don't know, maybe this part, it starts screech noises. Well, then you know you probably have something wrong with the alignment of your track. The track is secured with these little brackets, and they're adjustable. There's a slot that it rides in, so you can unscrew it here and adjust it if you need to. And you're going to have to pay attention and look at it closely to make sure it's in the right spot, but it's not that tricky and you can do it. And usually one side is out of alignment, so you can compare it to the other and then adjust it as needed. Now to oil these rollers and hinges, you can use WD-40 or just a regular oil, but the best stuff to use is a lithium grease. WD-40 actually makes this as well, and it's not regular WD-40, it's actually quite different. So there are spots here where there could be ball bearings inside. Now some of those might be totally encased, in which oiling it or greasing it won't really help. And other times, it's depending on the style of roller you have, it would need oil after a while. Also, you can get it in here where the shaft goes into that little enclosure. So I'm gonna just put a little oil here and try to get some down in here. And that's good enough. Now you're gonna have rollers all the way down, so we'll do these, and also you have these little hinges in the middle. Now it could be a tricky part finding out where to oil these, but you can see here where the metal has worn away the paint. So when you see stuff like that, you're gonna know that's probably a source of noise. Where you see, you can just give it a little squirt there. And there's the other side of the pin there. Your coiled spring could also be another source of noise. Now, this has a lot of tension in it, and these coils will rub against each other. If it dries out, then it's going to be making a lot of creaking noise. So, along the top, you can just add some lithium grease, and it should roll down all the way to the bottom. At each end of your garage door, you have these little pulleys, and sometimes those bearings are encased, but if you don't know, it couldn't hurt to oil it anyway. So just throw a little bit right here at the ends, and it'll work its way in. The last thing you want is dripping oily grease falling all over your car or whatever is in your garage. So last thing to do is obviously wipe down the excess. That way you're not going to have a horrible mess to clean up later. This is a common problem on garage doors. This rides along this rail, and what happens after a while, it can dry out or become misaligned and grind all the way down. And that will be making a lot of noise if it's grinding on the metal. So you can actually lubricate this track here all the way down, and that would help this ride. So to recap, if it's making general squeaks here and there, and they're sounding like they're coming from all over the place, then it's probably your hinges and your rollers. If it's making a rattling noise, tap, tap, tapping noise, then it could be a loose chain hitting the rail. If it's making a long grinding noise, it could either be this, grinding along the track, or if it seems somewhat temporary, like it comes at a certain time, then it could be that your track's out of alignment. If it's just a general loud kind of subwoofer hum that's going throughout your house, you could need to just put some bushings in there between the ceiling and those braces. So hope that helps. If it has, please rate and comment and subscribe. Thank you.